Shoes transform your body language and attitude. They lift you physically and emotionally. Christian Louboutin. Welcome to the Stitched for Success podcast, where we are teaching business and life lessons that will help you launch, grow, or scale your creative business. I am Monica Allen, and I'm a wife, mom, daughter, entrepreneur, author, friend, lifelong learner, and host of this podcast. For over 8 years, I was stuck in corporate and dreamt of escaping. Creating a side hustle with just $700 and having taken the leap over 15 years ago, we have since grown multiple six-figure and seven-figure brands. Being an entrepreneur for over 18 years has afforded me many successes and a few failures. I want to share those with you so you can grow and be successful in your business. On last week's episode, I had the pleasure of speaking with Tanita Gray, a shoe developer and designer for over 16 years and founder and CEO of Last Report. If you missed that episode, please go back and check out episode 76. Before my conversation with Tanita, I never had given much thought to the shoes I wear on my feet, from how they are designed, crafted, and created to what happens to them after I'm done. I wanted to share with you a few of my takeaways from my episode with Tanita. My first takeaway is all about establishing good business relationships. Tanita mentioned this from the perspective of relationships with international manufacturers. Well, building good business relationships is key with any vendor and anyone you deal with when it comes to running your business. You want to be professional and have integrity. Treating vendors and business partners with mutual respect and knowing the goal is for both parties to be successful and stay in business is essential. My second takeaway was in reference to logistics and the supply chain. Tanita mentioned how all the resources have changed a lot in the past 14 to 16 months. And as a retailer, we are at the end of the supply chain. I can relate to this very well in our business right now. I have vendors who have containers full of merchandise that they cannot get through customs, or they are sitting near the shore waiting to be offloaded. There's a shortage of truck drivers, so this is all impacting our supply chains and impacting the products that we are able to get and sell. We are literally witnessing the diminishing inventory of many of our vendors, and their estimates of restocking is well into 2022. So needless to say, this is a great time to be a service-based business. This episode is brought to you by Zeus's Closet. Do you wear clothes with your company's logo on them? Do you give your clients or customers promotional products to help them remember you and your team? Here at Zeus's Closet, we're like a tattoo shop for your clothes and more. We help many companies provide their entire team with branded apparel for themselves and promotional products to leave with clients and customers. Wearing branded apparel helps colleagues feel like part of a team and makes your company look more professional. Visit Zeus'sCloset.com today for your branded apparel needs. I was very interested in the next takeaway because I would love to create a product here in the US of A. Of course, though Tanita mentioned there are still manufacturers here in the United States, it has been less costly for companies to have goods manufactured outside the US. Of course, we were just talking about supply chain. So now we see the repercussions of having majority of our goods produced outside of the States. Of course, we all love a good deal or not paying as much as something would cost if we made it in the U.S. I just wonder if any manufacturing will move back stateside due to this, or will we just ride it out? What do you think? Another takeaway, and this is to my creatives, also known as my artists, you may have to compromise or make changes to your design or aesthetic. I have found that sometimes artists love the direction of their design. They don't want to make changes, but in business, you have to first give the customer what they want. And secondly, for the sake of getting something to market, you may have to let some things go and compromise. And Tanita spoke greatly about this because it is important that we as artists, I'm guilty sometimes as well, that we have to make sure that we're delivering what it is our customer wants. Tanita also mentioned something that I thought was great. Look at what is missing and fill in. This is how any business is created. When you see a need that is not being met and you meet it, you have struck gold. This is what being in business is all about. At the start of our first company, we saw a lack of creativity when it came to fraternity and sorority members telling their Greek story. That is what was missing, and so we have since been filling that need since 2002. So find a market, find what is missing in that market, and fill in. Okay, last one. And this one was my favorite takeaway. People will fit your brand into their lifestyle because of your story and how you make them feel. Think about that. People do buy things like Louis Vuitton bags, Chanel purses, perfume, lots of luxury brands because of how they make them feel. Some people buy it when they can't even afford it. Your brand has the same power. It may or may not have an international following or even a national following, but your brand gives your customers a feeling. It makes them believe or confirm something they think about themselves. I recently bought a set of bracelets from Elise Ryan Jewelry because the owner of the business supports organizations that are focused on eradicating cancer. The bracelets are not only beautiful, but I feel really great when I wear them. I am supporting a cause that I strongly believe in on top of it. But it is not just about brands that champion a cause. A brand could make you feel beautiful, empowered, proud, stronger. I love wearing workout shirts with empowering statements. They make me feel like I can lift a little bit more or do a few more reps. How does your brand make people feel? What does it make them think about themselves? Give that some thought and lean even more into it. Your brand will begin to resonate even more with your people and stand out from the competition. I always love sharing these takeaways. I will admit, I don't look at my shoes quite the same since my interview with Tanita. I have always loved the way shoes make me feel. Just the right heel makes me feel strong, empowered, and literally and figuratively taller. The right sneaker leaves me feeling warm and comforted. I have always loved shoes, but now I simply look at them a little bit differently. Someone created that, thought through every detail. Someone designed that. That is beautiful. Thanks, Tanita, for all of your insight and gems. I will definitely look for more sustainable ways to get rid of my shoes in the future too. And one more thing, if you're interested in learning more about design and manufacturing of shoes, Tanita offers a course. And if you use the promo code STITCHED, you can save 5% on her course. Simply see the link in the show notes for more details. As always, thank you for tuning in today. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Stitch for Success. Also, join the Stitch for Success Facebook group. On all of these platforms, I provide you with inspiration, support, and tips for running a successful business for the long term. If you haven't already, please subscribe and rate the podcast on Apple or Audible. Also, tell at least one entrepreneur friend about the podcast. Send them the link to this episode and help them with their business as well. Thanks again for listening and have a great one.